It's your boy Conserviz34, and you're watching This Week in John Mayer. So we're going to start off with the ATL, where John Mayer pulls up to. Now, this was a place that he really started off his career. After leaving the Berklee School of Music, got a little knowledge for a year, said peace up, and literally A-Town down, moved to the Atlanta, Georgia area and started making music with Clay Cook, who's now playing for the Zac Brown band. So both of them, I mean, they've done pretty well in the music industry. Clay Cook is a talented guitarist who was accompanying John Mayer when he was performing out in the Atlanta area. So you have the Inside Once Out kind of EP. A lot of that stuff from that recording gets added to Room for Squares, which a lot of that stuff was written and thought of back down there in his Atlanta days. And this was a big part of his come up, okay? And, Your Body is a Wonderland and No Such Thing. And even some of the deep cuts that I like, 3x5, St. Patrick's Day, are on that Room for Squares album. So we're going to first talk about the tour debut, which is Half of My Heart. Half of My Heart is debuted from Battle Studies. John's not on his Silver Sky. I can't see, based on the videos, y'all people taking videos were like where I was for Providence. Y'all too far from the stage, which is great. I still heard the audio, but I can't see the guitar that he's using. There wasn't anyone up there in the really, really close seats that had a camera right at his guitar that I could find. So it looks like it's one of those semi-hollow body or kind of Gibson Epiphone type style guitars. I don't know for sure. And I looked in the John Mayer gear page, and they didn't actually say anything about it. And I'm sure if you know what guitar he used, comment below. But he's not using the Silver Sky. His boy Isaiah, next to him on stage, was using the Silver Sky, and then David Ryan Harris was using the acoustic. This is a song where it's good that John is not using his Silver Sky. We want to get that twangy sound from his guitar. We want to get a fuller sound from his guitar that fits that country vibe. So, get off the Silver Sky. You can promote it for the rest of the show. And this is something that is good to see, that you're still getting the Fender Strat, two of the different types of Strats. And then, you're getting those in play. And then with Heartbreak Warfare, he's using a special guitar for that too. So it's nice to see that. Now, another thing that we see here is David Ryan Harris has a song called Still Be Loving You. And he does that intro into Slow Dancing. This is the second time that he's done it this year, calendar year. First time for the North American leg of the tour. Now, let's talk about why Georgia and some of the Room for Squares stuff that was played. 4 Room for Squares songs played. The only full band one is Why Georgia, where he talks about Atlanta, Georgia being his second home and his musical home, really, where he kind of like performed stuff and tested it around the Atlanta, Georgia area, like I had said. So, he plays Wide Georgia, a standard Wide Georgia, nothing's too fancy. And then plays 3x5, Wonderland, and Neon. These are, again, songs that he was performing in this area while he was on his come-up. So pretty cool. He also talked about 3x5 being written somewhere in Duluth, Georgia, where he had an apartment, and I think the apartments may be condemned now. I think he said post apartments. But they may have knocked it down or something, or may not, may have abandoned it. So that's Atlanta, Georgia. We're gonna move on to Indianapolis next. So then Mr. Mayer is flirting with the Central Time Zone, getting all the way to Indianapolis, Indiana. He's back in the Midwest where he was earlier in the tour. So he plays at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse where the Pacers play, the NBA team, and nothing new but an interesting Age of Worry to Gravity set closer. Pretty cool thing there that he did. And, a nice little trio to start off the show. Helpless, Vultures to No Such Thing. There. And he had a Whiskey in that first set. Paper Dawn, I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You. And he does a Queen of California in the Edge of Desire. No Queen of California in the Fire on the Mountain, but that may be happening in Chicago. We'll talk about that next. Let's get over to Chirac, nights 1 and 2. So for Chirac, aka Chicago, Illinois, John Mayer does a Queen of California into Fire on the Mountain. What's cool about this one compared to the one I saw in Providence where I was in the building, you'll check out the video there on my YouTube page, they have the full display background. What that means is in Providence, because there was seating behind the stage, just like NYC, they had one little prop screen pulled up. But when we get to Chirac, there's no seats behind the stage. So they have not only the little top part, but you have a bottom part. Cool graphics on that. Check out the videos of Fire on the Mountain and Straight Fire. Another great cover of a Grateful Dead song there by Mr. Mayer. So, you know, we get the full effects of the Dead stuff in the background compared to when I went in Providence. And nice to see that come back. As much as I enjoyed it, I want more people to enjoy what I enjoyed for the Queen of California Fire on the Mountain. Little back-to-back, no real stop type performance there. So that was Chicago night one. And then, you know, looking at some other stuff with night one, you have another 3x5 and EXO Beyonce cover. Those are acoustic there. Age of Worry gets moved up to the first set. Into guess what it just feels like. Edge of Desire staying in set two towards the end. But you have Edge of Desire and the Gravity. And before that's In the Blood versus, like I said in the previous show, where it was Age of Worry into Gravity there. So pretty cool stuff for night one. Now night two, hey man, hey, we gonna wait for that deal to go down. So we get another another Dead Universe song, but it's really a Jerry Garcia song. So that's a little bit different because that's written in Jerry Garcia's world outside of the Dead, but the Dead played it all the time. And, you know, because Jerry Garcia, you're going to have more of a bluesy type rock feel than what the Grateful Dead typically do with more of their psychedelic. And he does a great cover there yet again of Deal. Did it at MSG as well. So we get Deal. And, you know, we get some other stuff here like Walk Grace coming back. And, again, I love this song. Heard it in Providence. Was so happy. I've been chasing this song for years. And I would love to see it more and more in these, acoustic sets. Only thing with Walk Grace I'll say is this. The crowd that I had in Providence, which was a sold-out, loud, excited crowd, coming back as the first song of set two and the first song of the acoustic set, you know, some noise there. That's the one thing, and I think that's why it's a little bit more of a rarity because people are going to talk over it. They don't talk over what was the next song in this set, Your Body is a Wonderland. They go crazy. Free Falling, people go crazy because those are more just more louder, fun, night out songs. So, that's the one thing. I think that's why Walk Grace is played from time to time, but not as often as the other stuff getting acoustic play. So that is it for this week in John Mayer. Again, if anyone wants to be part of this video and you have footage, take video footage, you going to the show, screaming, lining up for posters. Post a picture of the girls' bathroom line. How many girls are lined up for the bathroom, because that's how many, tons of females packing the place for Mr. Mayer. There's post pictures of the Dead, shirts people rock to these shows now, which I started to see in the Search for Everything tour, where you started getting those Deadheads coming to shows there. But if you want to be part of it, let me know. But this tour to me is it's a great tour. I'm not at these shows like I was at the beginning of the tour, but just hearing how things are being played, the backup singers on Half of My Heart, the Isaiah and David Ryan Harris are killing it. Pino on bass, and Aaron on the drums. He's doing good too. But I mean, Isaiah, some of the solos he's doing is nuts, and those background singers, they lit. Okay, they're amazing. And then of course, again, David Ryan Harris is the man. Check him out on Spotify, Apple Music. Buy his stuff. Support him, because that boy can sing, all right? He can sing and play, and he could be doing his own joint but without John, but he's on tour the whole time, and it's almost like a treat when he opens up Slow Dancing with some sort of song. Oh, One song I forgot. Oh, we had a tour debut in Chirac. We have Inner City Blues interpolation on Waiting for the World, or Waiting on the World to Change. You have an interpolation of that song, which John has played in the past there. But that's another thing with just a little bit of a kind of snippet there of that song, which is a really, really, really dope song as well. But again, that's what I got for y'all now. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Peace.